The original founders of Shoshin Ryu never intended to start or create a system, nor leave the previous system. Shoshin founders were simply interested in training and in being sincere. However, the actions of politically feuding leaders of the art of Kikondo altered that course in 1992. That year marked a divisive split in Kikondo. The founder of the art on the East Coast and the number 2 practitioner on the West Coast started to argue. After several years they reached a point in their relationship where they could no longer coexist. As such, the sensei on the West Coast decided to leave Kikondo and start his own organization, asking students to join him. Kikondo fragmented as several students and dojo out west left Kikondo to study in the new system. Initially, some of the future founders of Shoshin went one way, and some went the other. Some even joined both organizations. All wished to keep ties to both teachers and to maintain friendships between the collective dojo. In time, the 2 feuding sensei let it be known that maintaining ties to each organization was forbidden. One could not train with or even talk to students from the other system. This was foolishness and reeked of ego and control, forcing the eventual founders of Shoshin to rethink their positions. As such, in January of 1993, 8 sincere individuals came together as a group with representatives from both camps to consider options. There was discussion by the founders of Shoshin Ryu to consider joining a completely different system. Ultimately there was no one school or affiliation they found that checked all the boxes, that met all the requirements sought in a martial art. So in the end, those individuals came together to form what is now Shoshin Ryu Martial Arts. The group sought a better path forward, one based on creating an art where the needs and training of the student would be first and foremost. Openness, humility, sincerity, and heart would be the watchwords of the art. The name of Shoshin Ryu, translated as Truthful Heart School, was chosen to emphasize the virtue of sincerity amongst the membership. The founders also realized that the good of the student learning is rarely consistent with the goal of a for-profit organization, to make money. As such, Shoshin Ryu applied for and was eventually granted non-profit status in 1997, emphasizing the point that monetary concerns would always take a back seat or be of secondary concern to the needs of developing the student. The board of directors also established bylaws. The Shoshin Ryu bylaws are for the internal governing of Shoshin Ryu martial arts. They are to help all members of Shoshin Ryu have access to and understand the workings of the organization, and to aid in the harmonious relationship between all members. The bylaws have rules stating the association shall operate consistent with, and shall maintain, a tax-exempt status in accordance with Section 501(c)(3) of the Internal Revenue Code. It outlines the responsibilities of the board of directors and establishes requirements for instructors, to ensure they uphold the standards of the senior-most student and the board. The bylaws outline the spirit of the technique, the kokoro, and the teaching methods used to teach the art of Shoshin Ryu. They establish the framework for nationals and other events for the purpose of conducting specialized training, workshops, seminars, testing, and official business for the membership. They even included the establishment of association dues and scholarship funds. The founders also created a curriculum for which the students would progress and grow in both their martial techniques as well as their martial qualities. Testing for various ranks was put in place to ensure that quality, skill, and command are rewarded, as opposed to simply rewarding one's number of years in the art. The curriculum was established to be challenging, yet fair, and as the organization has grown over the years, the curriculum has greatly expanded and enhanced as well.
Front choke. Side choke. Rear choke.
To supplement training in the dojo, a guidebook was made in addition to the curriculum videos in an earnest effort to provide some assistance to the Shoshin Ryu practitioner. These additional resources were meant to complement the students' training with their sensei, and to encourage students to look deeper into the sensei's words and methods. The original board members found it important to produce a written and illustrated publication that captured the knowledge, depth, spirit, and heart of Shoshin Ryu. 135 pages was an amazing undertaking in 1994, but the collective efforts of many has ballooned the practitioner's guidebook to almost 500 pages today. An instructor's guidebook was also published in 1994 to help develop teachers who wanted to share the art with the next generation of practitioners. Teachers play a big part in change and in the future. Shoshin Ryu is not a simple copy of any one sensei, but a compilation of the best traits of many. The instructor's guidebook was a mere 75 pages and has been revised over the years to a 300-page publication. Much like the practitioner's guidebook, it continues to be a valuable reference from which Shoshin Ryu teachers can use to find information, such as how to set up a dojo, to what are some successful teaching principles. Shoshin Ryu, for both the current generation and future generations, wants to provide a format to increase the quality of teachers and thus the quality of Shoshin Ryu practitioners. In 2012, Shoshin Ryu implemented its instructor certification program, which consisted of a training and classification model for its teachers, to help them continue to improve their quality of teaching over the years. This program ensures our organization will have a better way to help pass on the techniques and teachings of Shoshin Ryu properly to the next generation of practitioners. The certification program was designed to challenge and help draw up each individual teacher to levels perhaps they didn't even think they were capable of. While Shoshin Ryu currently has 14 dojo across the USA, a few key dojo went through interesting and informative progressions to become the dojo they are today. Each dojo faces challenges, and there are joys, pitfalls, and time required to have a successful and flourishing dojo. Regardless of their current size, almost all dojo in Shoshin Ryu have humble beginnings. Classes have been held, and are currently held, in a wide range of facilities, including local gymnastics studios, YMCAs, racquetball courts, local parks and recreation departments, school wrestling rooms, basements, and dance studios. The mat most commonly used were wrestling mats, folding mats, and occasionally canvas aikido mats. Inevitably, students and teacher alike create a vision of a better facility, floor, and more training options. In each circumstance where a Shoshin Ryu dojo has moved into a commercial location, students volunteer to buy in order to make the new dojo sustainable. Each dojo has been fortunate enough that the collective student base supported the vision and opportunity wholeheartedly and transformed the vision of a new dojo into a reality. Board meeting notes as early as 1994 gave the vision for creating a permanent dojo for Shoshin Ryu. Shoshin Ryu was in its infancy, but the board was already discussing, how do we fund our projects? A permanent dojo was a necessity for long-term viability of the organization.
Someday we will have enough money to establish a means by which more members of Shoshin Ryu will benefit. This will take the form of a permanent endowment of money from which we can utilize to establish opportunities for members to have extended training sessions in the form of a permanent dojo and financial assistance.
The Permanent Dojo Fund from membership dues only had $810 to this point, but the dream was alive and well. In winter 1997 issue 18 of the Shoshin Ryu Journal, members were reminded that $5 from every membership dues continued to be designated for the Permanent Training Fund. 17 years after inception, members of Shoshin Ryu had donated enough time, money, and resources to help create a permanent dojo in sunny Arizona. In a fine display of unselfishness and dedication to the good of Shoshin Ryu, 3 Minnesota Mudoncha stepped up and took their creative skills to Arizona in the fall of 2009 to help this new dojo get a high-quality spring-based training floor. They coordinated with the local workers to obtain all sorts of materials, from lumber, to screws, to carpentry tools that would be needed. This dojo is designed to serve Shoshin Ryu practitioners through a variety of options. Uchi Deshi or live-in student, who can stay anywhere from 1 month to 1 year for intensive training. Visitors, students who want intensive training for a weekend or 1 to 3 weeks. Specialty seminars, to focus on different areas of the art such as Nei-Waza, weapons, or Go Shinjitsu. The annual Yudonsha Gashiku, local classes, and more. When not training, the dojo backs up to a 22,000-acre park with a 15-mile desert trail. The Permanent Dojo hosted its first event with the Yudonsha Seminar in the winter of 2010. Thank you all for the dedication and commitment, the years of planning, and saving to make this vision a reality. This dojo is here to help Shoshin Ryu practitioners increase their skill in knowledge and in personal understanding of the art of Shoshin Ryu. You are encouraged to take advantage of all the opportunities this dojo creates for you. Seize the opportunity to train. Humble beginnings are familiar to some of Shoshin Ryu's most beautiful dojo. The first commercial space dojo was in Minnesota. Shoshin Ryu classes have been held in the Minneapolis area since 1995, but in the winter of 2008 the student base found themselves searching for a new option after their current training location became suddenly unavailable by new owners. Through local student support, within a few months they were able to open a 2,200 square foot facility, with spring-based flooring, a kids' playroom, office space, changing rooms, a storage closet, and a plethora of talented and dedicated senior black belt teachers. Class offerings grew from 3 to 5 days per week. Today, the dojo in Plymouth, Minnesota is the largest dojo in Shoshin Ryu, all thanks to the dedication of the students, instructors, and support from the Shoshin Ryu organization. Training in Boise, Idaho, started its roots in 1999 via informal training sessions with a group of friends who worked together. This was followed by time in a racquetball court, an apartment complex basketball court, and a gymnastics studio. In November of 2011, the doors of a commercial space opened called The Dojo in Meridian, Idaho. Thanks in large part to Yudonsha from Minneapolis who had built their own dojo just a few years prior, the dojo was built in the new Shoshin Ryu tradition with suspended spring floors and tatami mats. In the time the dojo has had a presence in Idaho, it has produced multiple Sandan, Nidan, and Shodan practitioners. It has hosted multiple national seminars and multiple annual events, as well as hosted local martial arts schools for friendship workouts. This has helped the local sensei realize their vision of a martial arts hub in Idaho that supports not only the local and national Shoshin community, but also a place to bring ideas together and foster camaraderie between martial artists and styles. Like many smaller dojo which eventually grew into commercial spaces, this is the way it was, in 2006 for the North Carolina Dojo. The school originally started at an old fire station that had been renovated into a Pilates studio. Over the years they moved to a gymnastics studio and then to an open room at a CrossFit facility. Years of planning, growth, and open communication with the students at the dojo and those in leadership roles, paved the way for a new training space in downtown Wilmington. With the help and sacrifice of the students and their families, North Carolina moved their dojo to a more permanent location. The transition to their downtown Wilmington location has been a positive one, and it continues to thrive, with the school winning multiple Best of Awards through local newspapers and magazines. Winning these awards was made possible by getting enrolled and promoting the school via new and upgraded websites, upgrading and keeping the social media presence alive, and engaging the student base. Students and their families alike have helped financially and physically to assure the relocation continues to be a success. The most recent dojo to receive a commercial venue is in Albuquerque, New Mexico. New Mexico is filled with a rich tradition of martial artists from Shoshin Ryu's past, and over the years the state has hosted numerous national seminars and other martial events. Therefore, it is fitting a new facility was built that epitomizes the excellence of the area's martial talent. Opening in 2021, Rio Grande Shoshin Ryu is approximately 2,500 square feet of leased space, with over 1,000 square feet that is a spring floor tatami mat training area. It includes a viewing area, restroom, men's and women's dressing rooms, a rubber floor training area, reception kiosk and energy-efficient LED lighting. It is exciting to see the spirit of Shoshin Ryu come alive in this new facility, and it will be even more exciting to see the growth of the dojo in the coming years. Nationals is the annual gathering of students, instructors, board members, and the senior-most student, at a designated site for the purpose of conducting specialized training, workshops, seminars, testing, and official business for the membership. The executive board arrives before the event kicks off, to have meetings and review curriculum and share information. Shoshin Ryu tests upper-level black belts as well as hosts an instructor's workshop that is open to the general membership to attend. Nationals is not possible without the help of the local host dojo. From airport and banquet rides, to local accommodations, to finding the appropriate venue, to providing mats, to creating t-shirts, to providing gift bags, and finally to finding an adequate option for a banquet. Many individuals make an extensive effort to make Nationals a wonderful reality. One of the great daily highlights of Nationals and a terrific way to unwind a bit, is a place called Cabin 8. For those not familiar with Cabin 8, it is the adopted Shoshin Ryu terminology for our social gathering in the evenings after the workouts wrap up. Cabin 8 was conceived from an early Shoshin Ryu Nationals years ago in Alaska, where the sleeping quarters were held in cabins at that particular venue. Cabin 8 happened to gain notoriety as the top party cabin of the week, so the name stuck. Cabin 8 is always a gathering place away from the training floor for students to come, share some snacks or a drink, to socialize, have some good laughs and, in general, cultivate friendships that will often last a lifetime. It's one of the great daily highlights of Nationals and a terrific way to unwind a bit. Although the original Cabin 8 was in 1998, the spirit and fellowship is still kept alive, year after year. The path of the Shoshin Ryu practitioner is a challenging, yet rewarding lifelong journey toward the continual pursuit of excellence in martial arts. Each step not only leads the student to higher levels of skill and knowledge, but also to the refinement of personal character. Each student adds to the collective effort of many individuals who have shared a common goal of producing students that capture the knowledge, depth, spirit, and heart of Shoshin Ryu. From the guiding principles and ideals of this organization to all the layers of training tools of the art itself, inspiration and insight awaits each student who trains in the art. The path of a Shoshin Ryu practitioner is a journey that offers immediate results along with a lifetime of learning and development. Shoshin Ryu's emphasis is not only on excellence in martial arts, but also on sincerity within relationships. In Shoshin Ryu, we realize that credit for any endeavor extends well beyond the immediate individuals themselves. We are, to a large extent, the result of all who have helped shape and influence our lives. To the countless martial artists and teachers who have had such a profound effect on our art, to the family members who have supported us in our pursuit of excellence, to the students and practitioners who have provided us much inspiration, our heartfelt thanks and appreciation to all of you. The members of Shoshin Ryu know that happiness lies within the relationships forged both in and outside the dojo training halls. Members share the common goal of becoming better martial artists, and in turn, better people. Many individuals train for the friendships, camaraderie, and family-type atmospheres of the dojo. Lifelong fellowships have often started after training Shoshin Ryu for the first time, after sharing the trials and tribulations of struggling through a technique together. Members of Shoshin Ryu learn how to not hurt others, how not to be hurt by others, and to be responsible for their own happiness. Reaching the pursuit of excellence is an ongoing process, a never-ending objective, and certainly at the forefront of the ideal that is Shoshin Ryu. Do ordinary things extraordinarily well. It was within this pursuit that Shoshin Ryu was created so many years ago. It is hoped that you will find knowledge, understanding, and inspiration by training the art.